again, everybody. It's Todd Struch, the Horror Nerd, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival in Edison, New Jersey. Second day of the convention. I am having a blast, as always. I always have a great time at these things because I get the chance to sit down and speak with some truly amazing people. It's about to get better. If you don't know his face, you certainly know his voice, Mr. John OHurley. John, how are you?
I am just fine. Thank you. Nice to be with you today.
Great. Thank you very much. Nice to be here, too. How's the show been for you so far?
It's been wonderful. It's been a clear and continuing file of people that are coming in and out of here, and everybody having a wonderful time.
Excellent. So, John, I almost don't know where to begin because you have such a wide body of work. What inspired the acting bug in you to begin with?
Oh, I knew from the age of 3 that I was going to be an actor. People would ask me what I was going to be when I grew up, and with a sense of disgust that only a 3-year-old can muster, I would put my hands on my hips and I would point to the black and white TV in the corner of the room and I would say, well, I am an actor, so that's what I'm going to be. And as pompous as I could be at the age, and it was really true. I have to say that I watched television differently than everybody else did. I watched thinking that I was supposed to be there. And so for me, growing up was just about connecting the dots between being a 3-year-old aspiring actor and somebody who's doing it for a living. So it was just, I knew what my passion was, and I knew I just had to complete it somehow.
Wow. At 3 years old, I was just hoping not to pee my pants that day.
Well, you know,
I give you credit.
Well, oddly enough, I have to tell you, I was still soiling diapers at the rate of 6 a day, so I can't say that I really had a concrete career objective, but I wanted to be an actor.
Excellent. Excellent. That's very cool. Was that something that your parents supported along the way?
No. My father was a doctor, and my mother was in love with a doctor.
Fair enough.
And it's about a million miles away from Hollywood. So I wouldn't say they supported me because they said, well, it's fun to do in high school and, you know, the plays and productions that you do. But when it comes to college, it's, you know, you have to take yourself seriously and find out what you're going to do. And I said, well, that's what I want to do. And so I went to Providence College and I graduated. I was the only theater graduate my senior year. So consequently, I won the theater award and never looked back.
Fantastic.
Never looked back.
Do you recall your very first audition for a major role, and how did that go?
I didn't. My first role was 48 hours after I got to New York. And it was a very peculiar, I wouldn't even, I suppose I auditioned for it. I walked backwards up a fire escape to meet a friend of mine who was rehearsing for her for the first day of rehearsals for this new Broadway musical. So I knocked on the door and they were just letting out for lunch. She looks at me, she grabs me, she goes, they just fired the second lead, get over here. And so she pushed me in front of the director and said, here's your guy. So I spent 15 minutes reading and a couple of minutes singing, and by lunchtime I had a show.
Wow.
So, you know, people say, how do you get your break? How do you, I say, walk the wrong way up a fire escape.
And the rest is
history. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, John, you know, obviously Seinfeld, you know, huge show. You're a big part of it. Do fans still recognize you, and do they quote the show to you on the street?
Well, Peterman is probably the most quotable of all of the characters there. The writers loved writing for Peterman because they could write these long, nonsensical monologues where he would just take a right-hand turn and never come back. You know, it was always fun for them to, and yes, they do, and even more so. There is a real John Peterman, and oddly enough, what many people don't know is that he owns a very successful clothing catalog company called J. Peterman, the J. Peterman Company, and that's what we parodied on Seinfeld. Well, the story gets more interesting because 2 years after Seinfeld ended, he went bankrupt with the company and got the intellectual property rights back, called me, and he said, how about we put the company back together again under our parallel strengths? So since the year 2000, I've owned the J. Peterman Company with the real J. Peterman. And
Wow.
it is the greatest act of identity theft ever. We'll be, after the board meetings in Manhattan, we'll walk down the street to grab some lunch together, and cops will roll down their windows and scream, "Hey, Peterman!" And they're not talking to him.
That is a great story. I did not know that.
It is a bizarre
I love
sense
it.
is what Marshall McLuhan once said, that someday the message and the medium will become indistinguishable, and I am a living example of that.
And there it is.
I like the role so much, I bought the company.
Nice. John, one question I have, I love Archer.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
one of my favorite shows.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the unique challenges to doing voiceover work as opposed to live action work?
Well, I think you have to be a little larger. You have to go in a little larger than life in animation, because you have to supplant the idea that your body is not there. They've created a body for you, but it needs a different type of energy. So you have to go in with kind of everything turned up to 11.
Got it.
That's what I find. If you go in very subtle, and it doesn't carry through. But I love it. I always say it's the greatest living in the world when you can show up in a pair of pajamas to a recording studio and make a living.
That's awesome. One final question, John. I love asking this because I'm always fascinated by the variety of answers that I get. If you could give one piece of advice to an aspiring actor or actress who's trying to break into the business, and as we talked about, your story is a little unique, what piece of advice would you give them?
Well, very simply, I say one prayer before I go on stage every night. And it's a very simple prayer. I say, "God, let me be surprised." And what I mean by that is it relaxes me. And I'm out there looking. I'm no longer trying to accomplish anything except I'm looking for my surprise. So I look every actor in the eye and I wait for their response. I know what I'm going to say. I just don't know why I'm going to say it yet. And so when I say that prayer, it basically gives me the gift that I need every night to make my performance new and different and organic every single night. And so when I finish, I know that I have done, if I say I've done 2,000 performances as Billy Flynn in the musical Chicago, then I will tell you that role is 2,000 times richer than when I started it, because every night I say that prayer and I find a new surprise.
That is a great answer, John. I like that. Probably one of the most unique ones.
I hope so.
So, thank you. John, thank you for a few minutes of your time.
My pleasure.
I truly appreciate it. I really am a big fan. And as I'm fond of saying, I am just a fan who gets to do some cool stuff. So, thank you for your time. I truly appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Wish you success and have a great rest of your weekend.
Wonderful. I'll give you your ice cream cone back.
Thank you. John OHurley, everybody here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival. I'm Todd Sturridge, the Horror Nerd, signing off. We'll see all of you in the next interview.